All right, folks. It's open. Chat is open. Let's do it. Let's light up the internet. I think everybody's sleeping today. It's quiet on the Eastern Front. I even messaged one of my friends and he's not awake. Where is everybody? Am I the only one awake in the Eastern U.S.? Wow. What happened? Is this the dead internet day of the year? That's a trip. I'm going to go get my snacks. I'll be back. Where's everybody? We got one viewer, that's it? The internet is dead today. Is this the lowest activity day of the year, January 2nd? It must be. Chat is open. Who's going to be first to chat? Who's going to be here first? Wow. I think I have found the lowest internet view day of the year. Between New Year's Day and a weekend. Some people just made a 4-day weekend out of the work week on this. What a trip. Is anybody in chat? Why is this guy dressed like a woman? Because I can. Because it's comfortable. But I'm not a woman, I'm a dude. And I just like being me. It's fun. I could think of worse things to do. I don't deal drugs. Hey, North Star. Finally, somebody spoke. How are you? Well, like men as friends. Very rarely do I meet a man that I thought was attractive. But there have been some. I like androgynous men. Men that got long hair. More feminine features. Hey, Jody, how are you? I think the reason that happened is because, I don't know. I'm not gay. I don't consider myself gay. I like women. I like women's clothing. It's hot. But objectively, men are hairy and sweaty and they got beards and hair under here and hair everywhere. I'm not into that. But like Andrei Pajek or some of those European and other continent guys that are androgynous. New Year's was good, Jody. Yesterday I got painting on the front of the house done, raked the yard, did a couple errands. Wow, what's a New Year's Day celebrated by going to Dollar Tree and Food Lion, the grocery store. But yesterday was a good, productive day. Where's everybody from, if I may ask? I'm in the wonderful, it's actually cold right now, but it's normally hot as all get out. Georgia, down in the dirty deep South. Where's everybody from? Glad to see some chatters that I don't recognize coming in. So far, none of my regulars are here yet. They must all be asleep. You know what's really freeing is being able to be honest on the internet. North Star can ask me a question and I can answer it. There's something so freeing about being honest. You're demonized for it in some circles, but I get older and I don't care. Vancouver, that's awesome. That's awesome. And we used to do that. I was just saying that the other day. We used to do that. I remember 1976, Jody, I was living in Torrance, California, 10 years old. Even our yearbook was patriotic. It had quotes from "Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes. The British are coming. The British are coming." It had Paul Revere. Now the schools seem to be very hostile to anything patriotic. But New Year's, 12 o'clock would come in and we'd bang pots and pans and have those noise makers. And I'm like, do people do that anymore? And you're proof that they do that. Welcome from Canada. I used to live in Duluth, Minnesota. So that was the closest I ever was to Canada. And then Colville, Washington was northeastern Washington. That's awesome. How is Vancouver? I lived in Hong Kong. And I heard when Hong Kong was handed back to China from the British in 97, a lot of Hong Kongers moved to Vancouver and they call it Hongkover. Canada kind of welcomed the Asian community, and now some of the locals groan about that because what I found out when I lived in Vancouver, or not Vancouver, but Hong Kong, I loved it over there, but there is a rudeness with some of the Asian culture. They're rude, they push, they bang into you, they cut in line, stuff like that. They do not know how to drive. I'd ride the bus or the taxi and you're taking your life in your hands. I loved Hong Kong. Loved it. But I've always been fascinated with Vancouver. They called it Seattle North. I spent a couple weeks in Seattle. I love the Pacific Northwest, but I couldn't handle the mold. Ironically, Georgia's got mold on everything. I just pressure washed my truck and it gets mold on it. Tom, are they bad? Is it bad there? The hockey team. No, that's not good. Shoot, Canada hockey, man. That's stuff legends are made of. We got moss down here too. Well, correction, lichens. That shocked me. When I drove the school bus here, we had buses in the back row sitting so long, they had lichens above the windows. I'm like, lichens? The only place I'd see lichens was when I lived out west or in Colorado when you go up to the peaks. Big granite boulders got lichens all over them. Jody, I will have to. When do they start? And are they in Vancouver this year? Moss. Just Sean, that's awesome. Where are you on your boat? Pacific, Atlantic? Let me see the comments. I got to keep up with this. Perfect, but yeah, that's wow. On my birthday, February 6th. Raleigh, I think right now I just like to have somebody that's a friend. I don't want to do housey and all that. I'd like to have a girlfriend, but that has not materialized. I haven't dated in 7 years. So I get a little strange. You know, I live alone. I go to work. I come home, go to work, come home, go to church, come home, run the errands, come home. I don't celebrate. I don't drink. So in the last couple of years, I thought I'd try women's fashion. I don't know why. Maybe it's a fetish. I like the tops. I like it. I like the way women's clothing feel, and they're cheap. I went to the flea market. Stuff was $2. This was $1 at Walmart. It was clearance. I'm like, I live alone. What the heck? I'm not doing any harm. Jody, I never do New Year's resolutions. I never do, because I heard a program on the radio yesterday running my errands that said that most resolutions are broken by February. What I try to do, Jody, you'll be shocked. I go to a Baptist church because I like the solid teaching. But my problems with a lot of the Baptist churches is they tend to be pretty cold. And I've complained a lot about that on my YouTube. People come on here and judge me for the way I dress. And I said, you know, you quote scripture at me for this, but I am a Christian, though imperfect. And you go out there in society and people are nasty. Now, I don't wear this out there. I've worn some of these. This was all one shirt. 2 for 1, man. I made a tube top out of this. And then this one, I guess you'd call that almost like a halter top. I don't know what's what with women's clothing. This is some sort of a nighty, skimpy top. Well, thank you, Rolly. I try to be. Mine was broken 12. At least you're honest. Hey, Lucy, how are you? What I try to do is I try to tell myself when I'm off, do something productive today. Whether it's making a video, clean an area of the house, and I'm clean. I mean, you can see my room. I got a lot of stuff in here. I need to find a way to organize it. This is a ridiculous mess. All my little body sprays, my little Dominican Republic license plate, and all my little bling blings that I wear tossed up in there. I mean, this is a menagerie. Old Tonka trucks, school buses, Clive Cussler books, Bible commentaries, a very old turn-of-the-century medicine cabinet. And of course, you got to have a tiger and a rat. And art. All of this stuff, almost everything you see was flea market. Flea market, flea market, flea market, flea market. Goodwill, that's the Masters. I live in Augusta. That's the Masters golf course. I can't believe that was a couple bucks. People like Masters stuff. And that, if that had been at the gift shop, you got to read what the gift shop at the Masters in Augusta makes in a day. It is ridiculous. Millions of dollars. Thrift store, thrift store, thrift store, thrift. No. Flea market, flea market, flea market, flea market. Now I can tell everybody I own my own Winnebago. And I bought a cruise ship. Isn't that awesome? This old mirror was very cool. I had to have it. Moby Dick, 5-cent beer, man, for people to drink. 5-cent beer. The lighthouse. That Art Deco dresser that I did a light sand on and revarnished. Tiger picture. Steamship picture. The pirate thing. And that was made by a Filipina friend of mine. She did all the painting on that. It's all fun. Yes, flea markets are awesome. Yeah, talk to me about the vaping. Thank you, Jody. Talk to me about that. I don't smoke, I don't vape, I don't do any of that. So vaping gives you the nicotine. They say it's harmful. Talk to me about it. Educate me about vaping. What? Because my supervisor does it. They can't smoke in the workplace, but they'll vape. They'll walk through there, take a draw on that cartridge, and tell me about vaping. No, that's not my whole house. Mm-mm. This is 2,100 square feet. I'm just in my bedroom. Hey, Rad, how are you? Brad Ventures, you're not the YouTube channel for Michigan, are you? I saw something Adventures and I commented on one of their snowstorm in the backyard, which was very cool. Jody, a couple years ago, a lot of people up in Ontario were getting slammed with back-to-back snowstorms, and it was all over Facebook when I used to be on there. I interacted with some Canadians. I said, man, I remember storms like that. I never lived in Canada, but I lived in northern Minnesota. And I love snow. Not as much now because I'm older. Jody's officially been inducted into the Michael Nelson Hall of Fame because she also banged pots and pans on New Year's Eve. I remember those days well. Well, Jody, thank you for that. Vaping is nasty, worse than cigarettes. I bet especially for minors, look into and talk about it and inform us. I could listen to you rant for hours. I love it. Well, thank you, Jody. Yeah, Savannah's nice, but they got a problem. There was a white woman came out of a church a couple weeks ago, and a guy came up and dumped battery acid on her head as she was walking to her car. She's disfigured for life now. There's a lot of bad people in this country. Where you at, Oz? Are you in Down Under? No, Down Under should be... No, wait a minute. It's summer down there. We're winter now and you're summer. That's right. You're the opposite. Well, thank you, doggy. I watched Pete the other day. I have never seen and heard so many barking dogs in my life. I said, man, your village sounds like a dang dog shelter. Wow. Western Australia, so let me figure this out. Melbourne? I remember Melbourne's west, Sydney's east. B has 10 dogs. Oh my gosh. I couldn't live with her. She's cute, but 10 dogs would drive me away. All that yapping. Wait a minute. I got to pay attention now. See, because I'm on the video, I can't pull up the internet. Australia, where's my Aussie shirt? I hope I didn't get rid of that. Some of my shirts have literally given up the ghost, and I had to retire them to the burn barrel, which sucks. I think the Australian shirt is one of them. I think it finally tore so bad. That and my King Tut shirt. They had the map on there. Perth. Okay. So Sydney. I thought Sydney was on the east side. Closer to the Pacific. Yeah, that's too many dogs, man. That's too many dogs. Jody, welcome from Canada and welcome from Australia, Oz. That's awesome. I love this stuff. This is Dollar Tree, man. This stuff smells good. And it works. All day fresh body spray. I can smell it when I'm at work 4 hours into my shift and I'm working hard. I'm like, this stuff is good. I even buy this stuff. This is for women. This stuff's expensive though. And I went to a store called Roses. This is half of that, $3.49. I like the smell of this stuff. It smells good. Yes, I'm a man. I like to smell good. I don't. Body odor and smells are not my digs. Wow, I am way off. No, Sydney is east. Never mind. Yes, Sydney's east. I thought Melbourne was west. But you said Perth. Ruby, I do. I slept till 4 this morning, which is rare. I slept very heavy. I worked out in that cold wind yesterday. I painted the gray siding on the front of the house red. I think it's so funny. I'll come out and do a project. One of my neighbors sleeps all day long. I do my project, get done, put everything away. They'll come out of the house and they'll look at it. When did he do all that? He changed the color of the whole front of the house. Yeah, while y'all sleeping. This color right here is called a jazz. Now it looks a little pink there. I got to do the second coat and it's really dark. But yeah. This house was white. It had mold all over it. It had that stupid vinyl siding, which I hate. I called somebody to replace it. They wanted to charge $21,000 to reside my house. And that's not all of it, just part of it. I said, $21,000 for you to take the old. Man, I could take the old down by myself. I just don't like working with junk like this snap together crap. When I was in Minnesota and I remodeled the house up there, I did steel siding and the contractors came in. They didn't charge me $21,000. And they don't have steel down here in the South. Vinyl siding is the worst. It melts, it sags, and it breaks. And if you weed eat anywhere near it, it throws up little rocks. But I love that red. It gives it a richer color. Thank you, Gabby. I like it. Hello, Dust. How are you? It's called a jazzy red. Yep, it stands out. I notice a lot of neighborhoods, people just have no creativity when it comes to color. While I was painting, I had my pickup truck right up against the house, with the ladder on it, stood on the edge of the pickup, paint bucket on the ladder. All I had to do was pivot, dip. I make it easy. People stop. Excuse me. How many bedroom house is that? How much you charge rent? I said, that's my home. Oh, I'm sorry. New Year's Day, women were driving around looking for a place to rent. They thought I was fixing up a rental. I said, no. Man, I love the color. I love that place. I went to Hong Kong in 2008 because I chased somebody on the internet over there. And it was a fail. But I got to live in Hong Kong. Hello, John. I'm good. How are you? I had vaped for over 10 years and haven't had a single issue. Vaping, just like smoking or drinking, is a vice. If you aren't willing to take the risk, don't do it. There's a warning label for a reason. Thanks for your honesty. Here we go. John, how are you? Thank you, Jody. Yep, it was a wreck when I bought it. That's not pink. It's just the way the lighting hits it. Here, we'll go outside. I'll show you. I'm going to show you everything, but we'll go outside. Let me get off of this screen stuff. It's going to be cold out here. Got to bring my keys. I always tell me, you live alone, bring your keys. You don't want to accidentally lock yourself outside the door, especially dressed in this. Go to my neighbor's house and say, need to call a locksmith. It's supposed to be a crappy day, so I won't be doing any outside work today. Yep, it's cold. And it's overcast. That's what it looks like. I love this color. It's very, very nice. When I put the second coat, it'll be dark like this. I call it kind of a caboose red. Not barn red, but the caboose red. This thing is my buddy. This one right here was by the front door. And it was only about this high. I transplanted it, and I put a rock on the root to hold it straight. Last summer it bloomed, and it's given birth to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 babies, all jammed in there. I have no idea how to manage that. That's what you call a very close, tight-knit family. But if you try to touch those, you wish you never did it. Again. Yeah, I did the whole back of the house in this. I just finished this last weekend. Christmas, the day after Christmas. And I just got to do one more panel down here. Now, I can't do the vinyl red. This is the west wall, and it gets so hot in the summer that vinyl will actually melt and warp. If you put a dark color on vinyl siding, it can't take the heat. There's my burn barrel. I've got some stuff to burn too. It's cold. I'm going in. This is stupid. Too cold. All from one plant. I know. It just blows me away that happens. That is actually a yucca, a form of cactus. Somebody argued with me and said, that's not a cactus. Well, it's in the cactus family. They have aloe vera here. You probably saw some in my laundry room when I went out. Hey, Fred Hingle. Thank you, John. Because it's morning time over here. Well, yeah, and we're Eastern Standard Time, Jody. You're on Pacific Standard Time. You got PST and I got EST, man. We got dysfunction. PST. It's so good for you and me. So I'm 3 hours ahead of you. Yeah, so it's 5 o'clock in the morning over there. Georgia, a succulent. Now, I never thought about that. I guess it would be a succulent. I wouldn't want to suck it, though. Those blades on that thing are sharp. How many times I leaned over and forgot and boink. Ooh, baby, does that hurt. You don't want to get that in your eye. I wish I was able to plant one of those 2 feet apart, all the way across the front of the house. And just in a few years, you would have a hedge. Let somebody try to go ahead and come in here. I believe in natural fences. They got prickly pear here, and I've seen prickly pear 12 feet high. Somebody grew it along the front of their chain link fence, and it literally overtook. Man, nobody's going to step into your yard. Nobody's going to get through that. No criminal, no burglar is going to be able to run and jump through that yard. I've heard of a Christmas cactus. 8:58 p.m. Dust, where are you at? Where are you at? I have a hat. I don't wear it unless it's real cold. I've got my little hockey hat. I call it that because when I lived in Minnesota, I would wear these. The hockey players on the high school teams would wear it, and when I drove the bus, I'd wear it when it was real cold. This is fun. My Pippi Longstocking hat. Don't look right with this feminine clothing, though. The Philippines. Kamosta ka? Hi, Nikki. I know. E-Rock told me that his brother or one of his relatives where he lived in upstate New York got 10 inches of snow, and he was out snow blowing it yesterday. 20 degrees in eastern Ohio. Yeah, the hat's cool. Jody, I know you've seen him up there in the land of the Canucks. Why is Canada doing bad? That's not okay. They were the leaders in hockey. I remember years ago when the hockey team left Minnesota and went down to Texas. I'm like, the hockey team left Minnesota, went to Texas. That should be considered a federal offense. Oh, she's going to run in there. There, do you want some? And John, I lived in Akron for 6 months. Forgive me for this, but the word Akron sounds like something nasal. I don't know why I think that. Southern Ohio is beautiful. I have no desire to go to Cincinnati. I've been through Toledo. I've been through Cleveland. Have not been through Dayton. Cincinnati, I don't have high respect for it after what happened this last year with that woman being beaten, assaulted for no reason by a bunch of savages. Very angering to see that. Yes, Dust. Well, I lived in Hong Kong, but I also went to the Philippines in 2018. Gal on my Facebook, I went out to see her, said, I'm not going to marry you. Call it an international date. Man, Luis and Preska were her family. She was 20 years younger than me. And Preska fixed 3 square meals a day. Man, the food was good, and I paid them. I gave them money for opening up their home to me. I said, you guys are awesome. It's so funny. Everything went so good when I was there. Then after I leave, the gal tell me, yeah, me and my family, we don't always get along and there's problems. I'm, what? Everything seemed, Mike, because you were here. They wanted to make a good impression on you. My family shocked you staying in our home and they were worried, thinking you would look down on us. I said, not at all. Your mom and dad were kind people to me. Yeah, John, it was angering. Hello, Richard. I'm good. How are you? Matutulaw na ako salamat sa paghatid sa akin dito. Now, I don't know what all that means. I know very little in Tagalog, so you'll have to translate. Dust. Hi, B. Be sweet. I was talking about all your dogs. I didn't know you had 10 dogs. Wow. All them barking dogs. Do you sleep at night with all that? Hey, Jody, what's the weather up there? Is it overcast and foggy? I know Vancouver, like Seattle, can get a lot of rain. Just 8 dogs. Ah. Oh, hey, Walang Anaman Dust. Always a pleasure. I love the Philippines. I think the Philippines is awesome. I've met many Filipino and Filipina that I respect. Kind people. If I was independently wealthy, I'd probably spend 6 months out of the year down there just because it's nice. I like riding the jeepneys, man. It's fun. Night Beast World. Yeah, but you guys still get snow, right? They are. And Filipino people are hardworking. You won't see them horsing around at work. Oh, really? Where at? Up in BC? The avalanches are no joke. When I was a kid, I lived 7 years in the Sierra Nevadas in Mammoth Lakes, California. We watched movies on avalanche danger in our class, in school. You don't play. And snowmobilers, I've watched videos where they will go up the flank of a fresh packed snow mountain and they'll arc. And almost every time they do that, it triggers an avalanche. And then they try to outrun it. Sheer lunacy. Mammoth Lakes, California. Where, no, Jody, I was asking, Tumbler Ridge, is that in BC, British Columbia? Of course, you're BC. I keep forgetting that. Hello. But the Rockies in BC. Hey, Jimmy. Welcome from the UK. Doesn't Canada have a ski resort called Whistler? Hello, User Ducks. How are you? Speaking of ducks, has anybody gone duck hunting or deer hunting this year? Tumbler Ridge is in BC. I've been in Glacier National Park in Montana, and I think just above that in Canada isn't it Waterton National Park? That's good, User. 4 deer, good for you. What'd you use? Any of them antlers? Any bucks? I've never hunted. Spike and doe. Did you have it prepped? You got freezer stocked with venison, and I had venison sausage up in Minnesota once, and I have to say that was really good. I'm a man, David. I like dressing feminine because it feels good. Oh, Jody, that'd be cool. I'd love to see the pictures. If you have a Discord, I am 77 Titanic 77. 77 Titanic 77. Send me a friend request, say it's you, and share some pics. That'd be awesome. I love glaciers. I think most of them in the U.S. are gone, except on, of course, Alaska, and then Mount Rainier in Washington's flanked with glaciers. That is still alive, but dormant volcano. They'd say if that ever erupts, it's going to be catastrophic. You think St. Helens was bad? That's awesome, Nicholas. It's a good thing about that deer meat. It goes a long way. Do you do it yourself, or do you have the local butcher do it? And how much do they charge for that? Is it expensive? I know it's deer hunting season down here in Georgia, and we got a lot of deer. Lot of deer down here. Oh, Jody, the ashes, they literally blew due east. I lived in Spokane for a few years. They got feet of ash. And when that started falling, you need to shut off your car. Shut it off, because it's sucking that grit that's getting into your air cleaner, into your engine. Best thing you do is park it, kill it, wait for it to settle. And what really sucks is when it's settled and then it rains. Turns that stuff into concrete. Hello, Valen, how are you? You did it yourself. Wow, Nicholas, you're a jack of all trades on that one. $100 a deer for processing. That's not bad. I mean, how much you going to pay for all that in meat at the beef? You know? Stinking hamburgers gotten ridiculous. Oh, I don't know yet. I did some work yesterday. I'm not going to do any outside work. I was contemplating finishing the bathroom, but to do it right, I'm going to have to remove the toilet from the floor, which means I have to buy a wax ring, man hug the toilet to put it back on, because I got to replace the wall. I took out part of the wall when I was remodeling, and I need to take the wall out all the way to the tub liner and redo it, I have to remove the fluorescent light, shut off the electric, work in the damn dark, get a trouble light in there, take the mirror down, and that's my bathroom that I use. So I need to finish the other one first, get the sink hooked up in there, and a mirror so that I can transfer to that and then gut this thing and do it right. I'm good, Valen, and Happy New Year to everybody. Hello, Sam. How are you? And David, are you still here? And welcome, everybody. Where else is everybody from? What state is everybody in? That's right, the UK. Good to see you, Sam. It's been a minute. Virginia. I remember when I was a kid, we had a Virginia smoked ham and the holidays at my aunt and uncle's house because they were from Virginia. Virginia hams are the best. I don't know why. Hello, Don. Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. Is that west or east? Oh, the Olympics are in Italy this year. Now remind me, are they the winter or summer? If they're winter, then they're going to be skiing in the Dolomites. That's some skiing up there. Southwest. See, I've been to Pittsburgh, the 80-90, and I dropped down the interstate into Morgantown, West Virginia many years ago. I'm glad to see everybody in here in chat. For a minute, I was beginning to wonder if the internet was having its lowest day. New Year's fell on a weird day. It was on Thursday. Most businesses are closed, not all. And in the case of my job, they thought, why are we going to come back Friday only to have a weekend? So they gave us 2 paid days. Oh, yeah. I will not have another holiday until Memorial Day. That sucks. 5 months is a long time without a break. She was in the Summer Olympics. Really, what event? Jody, now that's something to talk about. I bet you were proud. I have not met anybody who has a direct relative in the Olympics. That's really awesome. Rugby. That's awesome. They were in Los Angeles in '84, and I remember a sad story. I think the woman was from Switzerland in the marathon. And she was having problems. The smoggy air, the heat. And that poor woman was trying to finish the race. Anybody remember that? That was such a sad, just gut-wrenching. She pushing herself. She's physically losing it. Man, that was sad. It's weird to see a city host them again. Hey, user, how are you? Mikey! Yeah, 1984. Man, I'm starting to dig back into the historical archives, I realize. That was the year before I graduated. I was dating a girl in high school named Wendy. It was summer. My parents, I lived in Prescott, Arizona, and I had a bedroom that was attached. It was a lawnmower shed attached side of the garage that I turned into my bedroom. And Wendy and I hung out. No, we didn't have sex. We hung out, and I had a jacket from Mammoth, and it had a hole in the sleeve. I didn't wear it anymore. It was an ugly olive green jacket. It was good for up there. But I didn't wear it anymore. And it was summer. We were feeling flirty and naughty. I said, you want to have some fun? She goes, what do you mean, Mike? And I said, I ripped the jacket hole bigger and I grabbed all the down feathers and I threw them at her. And she goes, oh, you want to play? And we started ripping that thing apart, throwing the feathers. They were all over my room. I mean, it looked like a snowstorm in there. Feathers everywhere. Neeks, what happened? What happened to your... Neeks, what happened to your channel? No. User Heinz lady. I know, for a minute I thought it was you. I'm like, that ain't Neeks, that's somebody else. Wait a minute, you joined 6 months ago. That's not Neeks. Oh my gosh. Now I'm doubting because Neeks, this thing's 6 months old. The account. Okay. What was the last message you sent to me in Discord, Neeks? That's a true test because no troll can duplicate that. So it busts you. So does that mean you can't access your YouTube channel? You just uploaded a video the other day. Well, who blocked you? Doggy actually accidentally blocked 123 Penny the other day, and I'm like, what the heck? And he said it was totally an accident. And he unhit her. Doggy blocked Neeks? Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Well, we'll fix that right now. Right now. Yeah, Princess Brandy Candy, I'm sorry. I saw you earlier. How are you? Miles, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Miles. Happy birthday to you and many more. We love you, man. Oh, Princess, I love you. I'd like to try some brandy candy. Ha ha ha. What is... Sam, I need you to answer me because I took away a wrench. Not you. Yeah. Did you said, did Doggy block Neeks? Yes or no? I actually did make a comment that I need to honor, and people are going to be offended. But I need to start removing wrenches because people express, they see all these wrenches, they don't want to come to chat. And if I take away a wrench, it's not because you did something. I'm going to limit that. For some reason, people feel threatened when they see a room full of blue wrenches. And I want chat to be something where people can feel comfortable to come and ask questions. Now, we got a problem with trolls. We know how to deal with them. But I don't want normal people that aren't trolling to feel like I'm not coming in here. Really, user? Well, that's reason enough to take away the wrench. And I did. I don't know, Nikki. Got 3 days off. I wish a beautiful woman would come and entertain me. I really do. And no, I'm not being a sexual pig. Kissing, running fingers through her hair, and cuddling would be nice. Listening to music, fixing dinner together. Man, I really have a need for that. Shoot, at this point, I wish I just had somebody to go to without having to pay $100 for a massage, because I won't do that. Lay me down, rub me down with lotion and oil, massage me right. It's been a long time. That's one thing I miss in Denver is going to the rec center. Not the rec center, but the steam bath. I got a lot of massages. Yep, they were men. Yep, we were all naked. But you can't do anything in there. But they would give me a back rub. There was a couple guys, a black and a white guy. They would do a scrub down with the sponges and everything. And they only charged a modest amount, go in the sun, and they were allowed to do that by the manager. And they take the soap and a seaweed sponge. I'd lay flat out on the upper bench in the sun, and they would dump the warm water on me, soap me up, and massage and body scrub. Oh my gosh, did that feel so good. And women don't realize it, but men need to be pampered too, dang it. What is ZN? Oh, Ann. I don't know, Jody. I'm scared to do that. Well, Jar Choco, how are you? Gerald. Happy New Year. And good to see you. I want to shout out Gerald. A nice man. Always been a positive in the chat. Thank you. Always. Always, always. Oh, shoot. Do I really got to talk about narcissism? I think I made enough comments about TikTok queens. I haven't singularly talked about it, but I've mentioned it quite a bit throughout videos. It is a problem. You know something's wrong with society when we're all retreating to within ourselves. That's the devil. We're withdrawing into our inner sanctum. But yet people want attention. I do. I admit. I like it when people look at me and compliment my clothing, male or female. I don't like when people are creepy about it. I like attention. You know, people think that men don't want it. I don't feel that I need to rev an accelerator to get attention. I'm a Christian, I'm a conservative, but I'm open-minded on some things. And people look at that and they think, oh my gosh. We all need validation. And it's sad when you can't get it where you should be able to get it. That's sad. And what that does is that opens the door for us to look for a surrogate. I would have never let a man rub my back many years ago and said, nope, that's gay. But if I had a nice gentleman that wanted to rub me down and wasn't creeping on me, I'd let him. Even if he was gay, you would do that? Yeah, as long as he respects my boundaries. Because you know what? Sometimes because they think you're hot, they're going to really give you a good rub down. They're really going to give you a good massage. Versus the girl you hire, she's got her, half an hour, boom, boom, boom. Okay, bye-bye. I call it a fair trade agreement. You get to look at my body and touch me all over me, but we ain't having a relationship and dating and all that and having sex. You get your jollies, I get a back rub. It's all good. What in the world? Sam, are you sure? Thank you, Jacinta. I appreciate that. User, message me on Discord, please. And Neeks, if that's you, you are able to comment on my videos. If somebody banned you in chat, and I don't know who would do that. I haven't seen you on the lives because I'm not regular with the lives. Sometimes I've done it in the evening when you are still asleep. I apologize if I seem doubtful because there's just amazingly depths of depravity that trolls will go to lie, to play a game. And I hope that's not the case. So who's hacking it? Well, I took a precaution with regards. I hope Doggy isn't harassing her. The relationship didn't work out. And I hope he's not submitting to that. We're all grown people. No one should be demonized for trying. But harassment is not okay. It doesn't work, you break up. You don't do that. What bothers me is Doggy make the user account to play devil's advocate to see what we say about him. That's what you don't know. It's amazing the depths that people will go to play games on the YouTube and they got you, babe. I saw that, Jody. And I thought a thought, maybe it was negative. I thought, you know what, though? We're all old enough. We've all seen many news events. You know what I've noticed? It's always when people go out to celebrate and drink and get drunk. Bad things happen. And I find if you want longevity, stay away from places where there's vice going on. How many people were killed in that? Yeah, and I can't do it until I'm off of here, Sam, but I will. Most of the crimes that happen are people being out later than they should in places that they shouldn't be. I'm just saying that. They just are. You know, you go to a bar and you expect everybody to be rational adults. Okay, well, the liquor starts flowing. Well, I got a question, if user, and I'm going to ask you direct. I'm looking at your thing. You joined 6 months ago, have 4 subs. Why have I never seen this before? And why are you Heinz lady when you told me that you are South African? I'm not so convinced, to be honest. Do I smell Andrew? Do I smell Drescher? Do I smell a pathetic attempt for him to get in here? I'll check it. And if you're not on there, you're going to have a problem. Because it just seems weird. Neeks, aren't you going somewhere? Aren't you going somewhere on a trip? Talk to me about that. And who were you going to see? Sorry to do this if it's really you. I hate this if it's really you. God, I hope you're not some fool that got into her account. Because if you are, you're a piece of garbage. Grown men harassing women. I know. It's been quiet on Discord. I just figure you're busy. Grown man dressing like a woman. Yes, sir. I love the way I am. Herbinator, you a vegan? I got you. Granola, bare naked. Yep, grown man dressing like a woman with a top because I like it. It feels good and it's cheap and I'm in my house. I like to try things. I like to see what all the flap is about. Now, Sam, you don't need to delete them. Let me see what Urbanator has to say. See if he's a real person or just another hater. Bare naked granola. Urbanator doesn't realize that grown men have dressed like women and made a fortune doing it. Tyler Perry. Hey, David. Tyler Perry dressed up as Medea. Nobody Said grown man. I bet you Urbanator would not go up to Tyler Perry, that big muscular black man, and say, grown man dressing like a woman. So why do you do it to me? Huh? Because you're tough? Because you're all that on a stick behind a keyboard or a phone? Dude, bruh, really? I'm probably more man than you are, but I just do what I do. It ain't hurting nobody. Mrs. Doubtfire, there you go, Jody. Come on. How about boozing buddies? So what? It's a woman's top. I didn't sew up my penis to look like a hot dog bun. Neeks, what did you tell me about my dressing? What did you tell me in Discord? Do you remember? Brazilian Mist, Paradise Breeze. This stuff smells good. I like smelling good. Smelling good is good. I need to vacuum my rug. You're right, Jody. Sometimes I like to give them hell. It's good for them to let them know I'm confident enough to face their clown ass. Pardon me for my French. Got you, Jacinta. No, I haven't, Mission. It's good, huh? I saw Man from Snowy River. That was a good Aussie movie. That was a great movie. Got to round up the Brumbies. That showed some beautiful footage of the outback. That rugged group of mountains up there. Man, that was some cool mountain up in there. I think Australia's got some cool stuff. This is not Neeks. I'm sorry, but this is out of here. Bye. I've talked enough to Neeks to know her style. That is not her. That is not her. This person's gotten into her account or something. Bye, Andrew. Nice try. You're a clown. I've seen the Everest. I saw it at the IMAX in Denver. Now, that was a trip. Oh, gosh, when he went down that steep and them horse legs, man, do they got to be strong to do that. It was, Jody. It was awesome. Pink Greyhound bus. I was thinking, because I get bored here, I should start a cross-dressers that aren't creeps club. Cross-dressers that aren't creeps. Hey, Purvis, how are you? Good morning, Mr. Local Matt. Oh, man, we get a lot of people from Ohio. Maybe that's my next destination. Stay away from Cincinnati, Cleveland, Toledo, and Dayton. But Ohio, man, I tell you what, there's some good people in Ohio. And I love being on this time zone. When I started Pacific Ocean Asia, I was out in Spokane, Washington. It's really weird because I don't have a lot of Westerners in not a lot. The bulk of my regulars are this side or overseas or Canada, Australia, the UK, but a lot from Ohio, Pennsylvania, some from Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Carolinas, Virginia, New York. We got a couple from Vermont, Michigan. I don't think I have anybody in here from Minnesota. Go figure. They're all bright blue. They're bluer than a Kmart blue light special. Anybody that votes in a governor that believes men need tampons, come on. Now, I know I wear women's clothing, but I do not need a tampon. I don't want a tampon, Sam I Am. I don't want one in a roller coaster car. Men don't have periods from afar, Sam I Am. I will never use a tampon. Not even for a minute. Wisconsin, all right. Who said Wyoming? No. Youngstown, okay. I've been through there. I lived in Akron for 6 months in 94 to 95. Florida. Hello, Javar. Straight from the heart. You give love a bad name. Kentucky. Bluegrass is from Kentucky. She's a regular in here. Steve in Ohio. Man, maybe God's sending me a message. Ohio. I had a friend on the school bus page. And she's from Washington Courthouse, Ohio. She loves photography. She takes pictures of old barns, cows, stuff where her bus route goes. Not while driving the bus, but beautiful pictures of how pastoral. And the West Virginia-Ohio border is to die for. I remember a long time ago leaving Morgantown and cutting through West Virginia into Ohio. And I remember the scenery, the thickness of the forest was so beautiful. I said, this is beautiful country. I'm not into the industrial belt of Ohio. No thanks. I like that wild border between West Virginia and Ohio. Mountainous, just breathtaking country. Inglewood Avenue, oh my gosh, I've been to Inglewood, California. Now that's a real culture shock. Inglewood always up to no good. Appalachia. Is it Appalachia or Appalachia? I hate it when they say Appalachia. Appalachia just sounds more cool. Hello, Ricky. Oh, yawn. You were born in Inglewood. I remember riding through Inglewood when I was a kid with my grandpa in his old brown 60s Chevy pickup. We were the only white boys there. I mean, I could picture this scene as a kid. All my friends have low riders. And they had all those cars. All those big four-door boat cars. And you know, people make fun of that. I miss those cars. They buy the old Crown Vic cop cars here and put 3-foot-high pimpy rims on them. I miss those big old cars. Those were cars. That was an automobile. You talk about safety? You had a trunk and a hood you could land a helicopter on. These little stupid things look like somebody threw up in a toddler toy box. Blech! Them little plump, chubby things you push across the floor. That's what SUVs look like. They're stupid. The lowriders were where it's at, TTJ. And the Mexicans know how to do up a lowrider. The Mexicans in the shop are second to none. White Owl, I love wearing this. It feels sexy. I'm comfortable in it. I'm in my house. I like who I am. I like my body and I like the feel of this on me. I haven't dated in 7 years, so I can at least feel sexy in my house. Oh, 64 Impala? Yeah. Fuzzy dice in the mirror, man. Man, those guys would have that damn seat all the way back. And they just had that look out the side window. What up, dog? All my friends drive low riders. Novas were awesome. The Super Sports. They got a Nova station wagon. They had a dark crimson red on it. I saw it on the internet. I'm like, oh, I want that car. That was when the station wagon was bad to the bone. Not the Brady Bunch with the wood grain, not the country squire, but a station wagon with a pair. 2 straight pipes out the back. You know, that's when cars were cool. You start that thing and the whole back of the car go, Wham! And then idle, that whole thing is just, boom, 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 boom. And all you do is put it in drive, and it drives by. You don't even have to push. That's what I'm talking about. That's just the sound. These stupid things today. Got a kid in the neighborhood that needs to have a few ball-peen hammers to the head. He must have wrecked his scat pack. Now he got another one because it's been quiet. Come tearing out the side street, fishtailing. We'll sit there and do this. And the noise of that thing does not sound like a CUDA or an SS or any of that cool stuff. It's ear-splitting, it's annoying, and it makes you pissed. Jacinta Lowrider's awesome. I don't remember what that was, Loco. I don't remember what he drove. What movie was that? Really, Jim, Sweden, huh? And when I was in Hong Kong, one day I was in central Hong Kong and I saw all these Mini Coopers. They had a placard in the window. They were the original Mini Coopers. UK, the ones that have been exported to Australia. And they had a Mini Cooper show. Then I walked around, I'm like, these Mini Coopers are cool. Solid steel. They're actually smaller than the ones they make today. These were old, these were vintage, and I'm like, these Mini Coopers are cool. They had the UK license plates, the Australia flag on them. I was like, these Mini Coopers are totally dope. Very, very cool. Very awesome. Oh my gosh, the AMC Hornet, Gremlin, Pacer, and Hornet, the lineup of AMC's worst, ugliest cars ever. The Gremlin had a nice hood. Everything was fine until you got to the back. And it looks like it backed into the loading dock a little too fast. Went. That car could have had potential. The AMC Javelin, now that was cool. I need to pull up. They had a concept car. AMC had a concept car. It was red. It was a 2-door. That car, if that had gone to production, that would have sold like crazy. The lines on that car, the front end on that, I would have driven that. I'm not a car guy. I would have been like, all the rest of y'all can shut up now because I just beat y'all. Body design, sleek. Pinto. I got a friend in New Hampshire. He's got a Gran Torino in good shape. He's put it in shows. New Hampshire, Vermont has some incredibly nice car shows. He's sent pictures. And thank you for that, TTJ. I'm honest. I am a grown man, and I do wear women's tops because I've always wanted to, but I didn't for fear of what others thought. It's true, curiosity can kill the cat, but there are some things I think people need to try for themselves. And maybe they'll do it and go, okay, that's not for me. Or maybe you'll do it and you'll embrace it. Hey, Mr. Loco, thanks for coming in. I hope to see you again, and happy day after New Year. We're all hoping for a better 2026. Oh my gosh, TGJ. When I was in high school, a 60 Chevy pickup, you get them for $1,200. Some of them are rough looking. You can't buy a rough looking one for under 10. It's crazy. Problem with those C10s is they had a lot of cancer in the rocker panels from the front fender, the clip, right underneath the cab. They gut rotted so bad because they didn't put drain holes in them. Hey, Jess, how are you? And Happy New Year to you. Old trucks. You could buy a 60 Chevy pickup for $2,500, $2,700, brand new. Look at what they're charging for a Silverado. Totally ridiculous. Hey, Captain Claw. Jess, I'm glad to hear that. This is brought to you by Naked Granola. I'm scantily clad and I eat nude food. What can I say? Chevy step sides were awesome. Me, I've always liked the fleet side because I'm a pickup truck man and I want to use it. I like an 8-foot bed. It's so ridiculous now. You buy a truck, they got plastic over the bed. It's like now we got to protect the bed because the trucks aren't made as good as they used to be. We got tonneau truck covers and a truck's not even used as a pickup anymore. People iconicized a pickup and they pay too much for this new garbage. I don't care what they say. They're not as good as the old stuff. I don't need heated seats. I don't need a computer screen. I don't need a blender motor. I had a 66 Ford pickup in Colorado. 2 levers, push to the right, you get the defrost, pull the knob out, and you had a fan that blew. You could put your hand up there and feel it. You left a piece of paper on the dash and go, phew. You're in your car going, is it blowing? Stupid. And a blender motor. Because you have to have an electric motor to push the damper over. And they break. And they designed them to break. And they designed it very hard to get to and replace. So that you're forced to take it to a shop and pay the shop ridiculous prices. I'd like to know, with all these green nuts, how they think that's preserving the environment when they're not going after manufacturers for making disposable garbage that costs too much to buy. That's stupid. Stupid. That's not preserving the environment, people. You're gouging our wallets. You're making it difficult for the backyard mechanic. Our generation believed in recycling. We recycled them old cars and old engines. Nobody's recycling this stuff now. It's throwaway. It's trash. Democrats want to talk about saving the planet. All these smog controls and DEF on trucks is killing the industry. Killing it. I know. I worked with DEF fluid vehicles. It's a disaster. 300,000 miles. Wow. Yep, made to break. Hi, Tiffany. What does would lose the pears? Oh, pearls. Oh, you don't like this? Man, I like my necklace, man. I got all kinds of necklaces in there. Saab is totally gone. When was their last hurrah? When did Saab finally pull it up and call it quits? And that was Sweden. Was it 2006? I dated a black lady in Denver in 2018 before I moved out here. She had the last year of the Saab. Her sister gave it to her. The older Volvos were cool cars. I'm not into Subarus at all. Never was a Subaru fan. It seems to go with a political party preference. I don't know why. The Prius, that should be against the law to manufacture a car like that. I don't even like the name Prius. Remember the Chevy Chevette? The Chevy Citation? Here, you get a Citation. What? Oh, it's a car. Officer, you cannot pull me over. I've already got a citation. Okay, have a nice day. Why would you name a car the Citation? I've been issued a citation, Ossifer. What do you mean, am I here? Maybe I should go. Why, Purvis? I'm not ignoring you. Yeah. Yep, there's pros and cons of electric. Anything you have to plug in, I don't care what anybody says, a fuel tank is portable. Fill it up, you can go anywhere. Just don't run out of gas. Nope, off today. Doggy accusations are being made. So I pulled it. I have to do some investigating. Somebody claimed that you were hacking their account, using your 100 IDs and harassing. I don't know what the truth is. Yeah, you can't touch electric stuff. Opening up the battery compartment on these vehicles that are electric, you better watch yourself. There's enough voltage in there to blow your body to kingdom come. Oh, I'm going to, Sam, but I did what I did, exercising my authority where I thought it was best for the moment. I shouldn't have to be questioned on that. Purvis, I didn't realize you were an Aussie too. VW bubble. I remember the old pickups, 70s on back. The gas tank was right behind the seat in the cab. What's VW Boobla? Oh, I thought it was bubble. Tell you, the longest run production of any car was the Volkswagen Beetle from the 40s all the way into the 80s. The Chevy 350, one of the longest running production motors, the Ford 302, the 318 V8 Dodge. The Beetle, yeah. That was made for Adolf Hitler, by the way. Really? I didn't know that, Jim. Yes, Jess. And they were really cheaply put together. I had a female friend that had one. All that little cladding inside kept falling off. They say you can tell the quality of a vehicle by how the door sounds when it shuts. That's true. Gosh, I remember when I was a kid, you got in them big old cars like the Buick Electra. The door was 10 feet long on a two-door. Had all that leather on it. The big old strap handle. Those ended up coming apart. I remember when they came out with Power Everything. We thought that was the bomb. Now you tell somebody to go get a truck where you got to roll the window down and they're like, what? Anybody remember the Justy and the Yugo? It always smelled like crayons. The 300 was kind of cool. I liked the Magnum when it first came out. Now I don't see those. That was a short-lived. I don't see them. The 300 seems to be a pimpy car for a certain group of people, I notice. I'm going to get into an area, and some of you guys that are into machinery will know what I'm talking about. I like to get on YouTube and look at the old straight eights. Those, to me, were the bad engines. They were awesome. The sound of a straight eight engine is like nothing else. They were too big to put in today's. They had them in the Duesenbergs. The Duesenberg in second gear in 29 or 31 could go 85 miles an hour. Those straight eights are not in production. If you have an antique Duesenberg, you're sitting on a lot of money. That was big money back in the day. They were $20,000 back in the day. Brand new. The straight eight engine, you ought to hear the sound of that. You talk about a sound unlike any other. Not a V8, a straight 8. An incredible amount of power. They had them in the Packards, the Cords, the Duesenbergs with the long hood. The Duesenberg was truly the definition of an automobile. And they got up and boogied. But the straight 8, you ought to hear the sound of that. Like nothing I've heard. I would love to have a pickup truck with a straight 8 in it and pull up next to all these clowns. And I'd love to be able to pull off 85 in second gear. That's amazing. Yes. Put a straight 8 in a Prius. That the weight of that engine would destroy that car. That car couldn't even handle it. Somebody put a lift kit on a Pinto once. And I looked at that and said, why? Why'd you put monster tires on a Pinto? You got all that money to burn, make junk like that. Have you seen the guy that took a 90s F-150 and flipped it upside down and is driving it around? Why? Very strange. Somebody with too much money and too much time on his hands. Well, folks, I better eat breakfast and figure out a plan of attack for today before laziness attacks my soul. Thanks for coming to chat. Yes, Jeremy, those Duesenbergs were beautiful. Those are collector cars. You will not see them with teenagers running around with those in the neighborhood. They can't afford them. I don't know what the price tag is on them today, but you might as well get a house mortgage. You two, Justinian, and everybody else, you too, Jess, thanks for coming to my channel. Thank you, and thank you for not minding my sensual dressing. Sometimes I just feel that way, and I just do it. I like it. You guys have a good one, and let's hope this year goes better. I was just thinking this morning we didn't have some news event like some clown in a truck blasting through New Orleans and running people over, but Switzerland had a nightclub fire. And again, I tell people, you want to protect your life, stay out of the dens of iniquity. That's where the stuff usually takes place. Sad. Hey, Chaos. All right, you guys. Till next time. Have a good one.